Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about how to flirt with someone who is working. So this could be someone who works at a bar, or it could be a barista, or it could be a cute cashier person, someone who is working, and basically you come into this environment probably frequently. You have a little bit of a crush on them. And basically you're wondering how to flirt with them, but you're kind of a bit worried because obviously they're working, they're in a working environment. So the first thing that I kind of want to talk about here, my first tip is, if you are going to flirt with this person, then only flirt when it is appropriate to flirt with them. So don't do it when they're busy, when they're rushed off their feet. Don't do it when perhaps their other co-workers are around, because that could start a bit of gossip, and really they could get into trouble if they start flirting. I don't know what, it depends obviously on their job, but they could get into trouble if they start flirting with someone who is a customer, because obviously there's like a there must be some kind of like HR thing involved there, right? So you want to do it at the appropriate time. So the appropriate time, obviously, is when they're by themselves and it's relatively quiet and you can tell that they're not busy. So that's the best time to actually start flirting with someone who is working, and when the best kind of time to approach them to do something like that. So make sure they're not busy, that they're alone. So the next thing that I want you to try and think of doing is, instead of focusing on making sure that you're putting your attraction across to them, because perhaps you might have only a small window to talk to them or something like that, but first of all, just take it kind of slow, and at first just aim to put a smile on their face, just say something really nice to them. Now, you don't want to really say too much on the way that they look, or, their attractiveness. So try and avoid to say something like, "You're so beautiful," hoping that will put the smile on their face. Try and bring something that's a bit more, a lot less risky, basically. That might help you. For example, you might want to say to them something like, maybe you can make a comment on the music that's playing at the moment. If you can hear a lot of these songs are really popular right now, you can say, "Oh, are you getting sick of the top 40 being played all the time?" Because in the UK we call it the top 40 of I think in America and the USA it's like the 100 Billboard or whatever it's called. But bringing something up like that, or if it's Christmas and there's lots of Christmas music playing, you can say, "I bet you're getting sick of all these Christmas tunes," or something like that. Just say something funny that puts a smile on their face, because you don't obviously want to approach someone and make them feel uncomfortable, right? Because sometimes that can happen, especially if you are attracted to them, but you don't know if they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you don't know if they're married, you don't know basically their circumstances. So you kind of want to take things a bit lightly with them. And if that's received well, then perhaps you can say something about how you think that they're really cute and you'd love to catch a drink with them, and ask if it's okay if you leave your number with them. So just open it up. Let the icebreaker be something that's not very risky, that's going to make them feel uncomfortable. And I think the best thing to do when you do this kind of thing is be as authentic and as real as possible. And what I mean by that is, don't just say some line that you heard from a pickup artist book or something like that. Say something that is actually going on around you, that is actually genuine, that you actually may think funny or something like that. Like if there's loads of Christmas music playing and you say, "I bet you're getting really sick of all these Christmas songs." Something like that is authentic, it's real, it's coming from, a place of humor, and because you don't want to make this person feel uncomfortable. So the next thing obviously you want to do is, when you're saying these things and perhaps you are being a bit flirtatious, you want to kind of read the room, you want to read their body language and see how it's being received. So if you can clearly tell that they're being uncomfortable, they look uncomfortable, if you can tell that they're probably maybe not even in a good mood, perhaps they look a bit fed up, perhaps they look a bit rushed off their feet, perhaps they just don't look like they're ready to just stand there and have a little bit of a conversation with you. So read their body language, pay attention. If it looks like they're facing away from you and it looks like they kind of want to escape, just let them, because it might be the case that they're in a relationship or they're married and they're just not really feeling that warm and receptive to your advances. So you need to back off, you need to back way off, you need to read the room. Another thing as well, is like just check when you are about to approach someone who is working. Just give a quick glance at their hands to see if they've got like a wedding ring on or something like that, so you know that, hey, this person is taken. It's probably not appropriate for me to like say something right now. But you can always go up to someone, no matter who they are, and say something funny to make them, to give them a smile basically, and then don't take it any further than that. So reading the room is very, very important. Keep an eye on their body language. And if it looks like they want to escape, it probably means that they do. If they look uncomfortable, then it probably means that they are. Because, usually as human beings, we can't really unhide if we are feeling uncomfortable very well, okay? So basically, my next tip is, if it doesn't end well, like if they don't accept your number, or perhaps they don't like the fact that you've tried to flirt with them, perhaps they say something to you, perhaps they, don't like the fact that you've kind of made it a little bit of an advancement on them. So the best thing to do when you kind of get rejected like this, essentially, is just to say like, hey, don't worry about it, just take it as a compliment, okay? And then you leave, and you don't try and defend yourself or anything like that. That's all you really ever need to say. Just take it as, hey, it's okay, sorry, just take it as a compliment. That's all you need to say, and then you just leave them alone. But sometimes these things can work out, and if you do leave your number with them, it may very well lead somewhere. So, if it is going well, and you're a little bit flirty with them, you're probably having a little bit of banter, and you give them your number, it could lead somewhere. So if that kind of thing does happen, then obviously that's great. But of course, I always think that probably the best option for these kinds of things is to really, 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 really read the room, because you have to really pay attention to their body language if you're approaching someone in this kind of setting. I personally don't think it's a good idea to hit on people while they're working. I think it's okay to be a bit banterous and perhaps flirt a little bit, but it can be very tricky to do that kind of thing if someone is working. It's very tricky to do so. I personally would avoid doing anything like that, but that's just me. But for whatever reason, it may really work out for you. But just remember that you need to be careful, and also you don't want to get them into trouble, especially if their other colleagues are about and they can overhear what's going on, and because you never know which one of those people could be their manager or something like that. So you don't want to get this person in trouble. You don't want them to lose their job. So just be very, very careful to flirt with someone while they are working. But hopefully I've given you some good advice there that you can take with you, especially if you do have a bit of a big crush on someone who like a barista or a bar attendant or something like that, and you really want to get to know them better. And yeah, just see what happens basically. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.